At its core, toxic positivity is emotional avoidance disguised as optimism. What's up, fellow golfer? Welcome back to another episode of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast. Mindset. I'm your host, Paul Salter, the golf hypnotherapist, and I've got a doozy of a conversation, an episode for you today. A conversation that hits deep for me because the patterns, the feeling states that I'm going to define, discuss, and dive into today are patterns and feeling states that plagued me from playing and achieving my potential for many, many years. And I have the utmost confidence they're plaguing you too. And if you're a new listener, hey, welcome to the show. This is not your typical golf mental strategy talk type of episode, type of podcast. I'm not talking surface level tools, quick fixes, shortcuts, cheat codes, hacks, and band-aids. We're talking about the real work, the deep work, the emotionality of you being an emotional being and talking to you about what it means, what it takes, what you need to do to get out of your own way, to get unstuck so you can achieve your potential both on and off the course. And you need to know, I love the game of golf. I have such a deep passion for it. Yet at its core, I absolutely feel and believe that golf is nothing more than a mirror of your own personal development journey. And that is the lens through which we have these conversations. And before I dive into this conversation, two things. Number one, longtime listeners. Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. What are we on? Episode, I think, 91? Incredible journey. Absolutely incredible journey. I'm so grateful for you being here, for you continuing to listen and support the show. And then two, want to share just a quick tidbit from a conversation I had with a professional golfer the other day. Anytime somebody completes or schedules a mindset coaching discovery call with me, I send them a handful of questions ahead of time to help me begin best preparing. And one of the pieces of information this individual shared was, I need to understand how this coaching is different. I've worked with a handful of sports psychologists, and I felt that the entire time they were just telling me things I knew, telling me things I know I should be doing, and to be frank, I really already am doing. And I share this for two reasons. Number one, it sets the stage for our conversation today. But number two, this is really where the difference exists between the mental game of golf and the mindset work that needs to be done that allows you to actually execute the mental game strategies and tools that you have developed. So if you recall from a previous episode, which son of a gun, the number is escaping me, it's 84 or 85. It's literally titled something similar to mental game training versus mindset training. It's a must listen because there is a stark difference between the two, and you need both. The mental game of golf is more about the what to do, how to do it, the when to do it. And the mindset aspect addresses why the fuck are you not doing what it is you know you need to be doing. And that's because you, just like myself, have a collection of destructive mindset programs, unconscious, pre-programmed automatic reactions designed to keep you safe, stuck in a relatable, familiar, predictable pattern of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But let's dig into today's conversation. And 3 words I want you to write down, and I'm sharing this now because I want to make sure I don't forget to cover them. Acknowledgement, acceptance, action. Or acknowledge, accept, act. The question I want to pose to begin our conversation today is quite simple. Has the mental golf space gone too soft? I listen to a lot of other podcasts. I like to learn from other individuals. I like to gain new perspectives and hear information so that I can filter it through my own lens of experience, my own lenses of beliefs. And the trend that I've continued to see more strongly than ever before is everything around the game of golf under this kind of mental game umbrella. Be positive. Have fun. Just be grateful you get to play this game. Oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's just golf. Hey man, no big deal. Just be positive. Just make sure you're having a good time. Well, hey, did your playing partners have a good time? Okay. Like, that's great. Be grateful. Be positive. Be optimistic. But here's the fucking reality. Life is not sunshine and rainbows. And I think it's incredibly valuable to cultivate these skills of a positive mindset, a growth mindset, to be able to cultivate a deep sense of optimism and gratitude and a presence practice. Those are necessary tools, but the truth is so many of you use this toxic positivity as an avoidance strategy to avoid the emotional discomfort that arises when you are confronted with the harsh truth that you're not doing enough or that you're avoiding doing what needs to be done to achieve the results that you truly desire. In fact, it may be even masking or holding you back from admitting what it is you truly desire, to fucking win, to be great, to leave this life, this identity behind, to go all in on your goals. But instead, you brush off the mistakes, the challenges, the hiccups. Just not my day. I'll get the next one. Oh, no big deal. Next shot, I got it. It's a form of really just covering up frustration, anger, or fear with a collection of cliches. Hey, look on the bright side, man. Stay positive. Hey, did you have fun? And you need to look yourself in the mirror and just ask, are you defaulting to being overly positive as a way of avoiding the emotional discomfort that's percolating under the surface, growing even stronger every time you come up fucking short of your potential because you didn't do what needed to be done to achieve your goals? And that's the theme of the conversation today. Toxic positivity. Being overly positive because it comes across as noble, humble. It almost feels perhaps even like a sign of strength. Oh, this bad emotion can't get the best of me, or fuck anger. I don't feel anger. I'm too cool. I'm too stoic. I'm too positive. Guess what? Anger is a part of the emotional experience. Anger is just energy. Anger has the potential to be rocket fuel on your journey to your breakthrough, your up-leveling and becoming the next best version of yourself. But you hide from it. You repress it. You're suddenly immune to any negative emotion or feeling state. Yet, your body's not immune to it. Mentally, it might feel good to say, oh, it's no big deal. All is good, man. But underneath the surface, that energy. Remember, life is nothing more than a game of energy management. Emotion, energy in motion. That energy is being repressed. The more you avoid it, the more you're repressing. And just like a pipe, it will inevitably burst. Take it from somebody who personally describes himself as emotionally constipated for the first 3 decades of my life. And guess what? My pipes fucking burst. I went through a divorce. I had this huge emotional explosion because I was that guy. I avoided conflict. I avoided negativity like the plague. And for a while, it cost me dearly. I thought it was the fuel I needed to have the next breakthrough in my relationships, in my business, in my finances. But it's ultimately what cost me and held me back the most. And I have a sneaky suspicion that if you are resonating with anything that I am sharing, it's costing you and it's holding you back dearly from achieving your potential. So let's get a working definition. Toxic positivity. It's this belief that you should maintain a happy, optimistic mindset at all times, no matter what is happening. Again, this belief that you need to maintain a happy, optimistic mindset at all times. But as I mentioned earlier, life is not sunshine and rainbows. And if you expect to be happy and positive all the time, well, first and foremost, your expectations are grossly off. But second, they're unrealistic because inevitably you're going to find your own flow and sweet spot of contentment or whatever particular words you want to use, and you're going to ride the natural peaks and valleys of life. And of course, you're going to develop the self-awareness and the tools to quickly get out of those valleys, spend a little more time on those peaks, and hopefully create even greater peaks. But life is not sunshine and rainbows. And those valleys, those moments where you're experiencing and aware of negative emotions, those are teachers. There are lessons to be learned in there. You miss those lessons. You miss those learning opportunities. If you default to toxic positivity, everything's good. Oh, it's fine. It's not really a big deal. Bullshit. It's a fucking huge deal. It's connected to you, your goals, your ambitions, who you are, who you want to be. Why are you missing these learning opportunities? Because you're afraid of a little discomfort. Again, at its core, toxic positivity is emotional avoidance disguised as optimism. Toxic positivity is emotional avoidance disguised as optimism. And the problem that you're encountering, and I know, I feel it right here, right now. I'm aware. I'm talking a million miles an hour. It's because I'm so passionate about this. It plagued me for so long. But avoiding the discomfort that comes with going, growing, challenging yourself, it doesn't make it go away. It buries it deeper and deeper. And the more you bury frustration and anger, the more energetically draining it becomes to hold on to that repressed and buried frustration and anger. And that's energy that could be readily available and better spent to focus, reset, and move forward. So a couple examples where and how toxic positivity is showing up in your life. And then let's dig into why we develop this pattern of feeling, behaving, and believing. So on the course, it's obvious. You have a blow up hole, a poor shot, you make a mistake. Hey, just stay positive. And that kind of starts this temporary fix of, hey, stay positive. And for some of us in certain contexts, this is incredibly helpful. And I'll circle back to this. It could be blowing up or shanking a shot OB and just laughing at yourself, joking. Doesn't even matter, man. I'm not that bothered, even though deep down you're fucking embarrassed. It's continuously repeating the affirmation, I've got this, I've got this. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I'm unbothered. I'm unfazed. Again, time and place for some of these strategies we'll come back to. In your professional life, your career, your business, it's continuing to really engage in sharing a white lie to your team that, hey, we're crushing this. Everything is fantastic. Meanwhile, you are fucking afraid that you are not going to be able to make payroll. It's you continue to tell your partners, your team members, your employees, hey, we're one opportunity away. We keep grinding. But deep down, your system's flawed, your processes are fucked, and you're nowhere even close to being on track or where you need to be. In your relationship, it's avoiding the difficult conversations and choosing not to rock the boat, not to bring it up. Just be happy rather than speaking your truth because you're afraid of the conflict, the confrontation, the negativity that you might endure. And again, all of these situations, on the surface, they might seem noble. They might seem strong. But this is not a surface level fucking podcast because underneath, this is avoidance. Avoidance is always costly. And I need you to hear that. So why? Why do we engage in this toxic positivity? Well, first and foremost, I want to just make it clear. It's not a character flaw. It's a learned coping mechanism. It's a learned collection of feelings, beliefs, and behaviors. And if we think about it, the vast majority of us, especially us men, we're not equipped with any education or empowered with any tools under the umbrella of emotional intelligence, emotional awareness, emotional regulation. And from an early age, men in particular, were conditioned that repressing our emotions is a sign of strength. Don't cry. Don't be mad. Shake it off. Suck it up. Don't hide or don't show any emotion. This kind of stoic sign of strength, if you will, was ingrained in our psyche from a very young age. But that's not how life and the human experience works, considering we are emotional beings. So we've got that working up against us. That's part of the uphill battle we're climbing, to be more emotionally aware, more emotionally expressive, and more able to quickly reset and recalibrate our emotional state to peak and have it where it needs to be on demand. But the second aspect of toxic positivity that I feel is often overlooked is it's deeply connected to wanting to be liked. And that need to be liked is directly connected to our core need to belong, to fit in, to be accepted. And remember, I've talked about this 1,000 times. We all have core fears of judgment, abandonment, and rejection because centuries and centuries ago, if our ancestors were judged or rejected, it exponentially increased the risk of being abandoned by the tribe. And if you were abandoned by your tribe, you either starved to death or were eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. These fears and the subsequent compensatory behaviors that developed as a result are literally why you are here today listening to this podcast. They're the reason why you and I and our entire species is still alive and well all of these years later. This toxic positivity, this conflict, this confrontation avoidance, it's all rooted in a desire to be liked, to fit in, and to belong. Because again, let's say you speak your mind, you share the negative emotions you're feeling in a relationship, in business, even in your local golf course foursome or playing group. They run the risk of creating tension, frustration, resentment, envy within your small or large tribe. And when you ruffle feathers, there's a chance you could be ostracized, kicked out. And that's not a really good feeling. Even though it doesn't mean it's a death sentence today, it still doesn't feel good. And I know personally, this toxic positivity plagued me both in my coaching career and my first marriage for a long, long time. First marriage, only marriage. In my career, when I first got started in nutrition coaching, I was so guilty of trying to give my clients what they wanted, sharing with them what they wanted to hear, avoiding giving them the truth and what they needed to hear. And what was the result of that? Mediocre results. I wanted nothing more than my clients to like me. My thought process, so misaligned, was if my clients liked me, then maybe they'd be more likely to refer me. But the truth was, by prioritizing being liked, giving them what they wanted, they got worse results and were far less likely to refer me. And it wasn't until, and this is purely a byproduct of working on myself, this personal development and awareness and growth journey, which you are absolutely on if you're listening to this show, and I applaud you for that. Once I made the upgrade to prioritizing giving my clients what they needed and became more indifferent to whether or not they liked me, guess what happened? Better fucking results better fucking referrals, even more referrals. Because at the end of the day, all that matters are fucking results. On the course, in your business, your personal life, and in your relationship, the results. And this could be your marriage or your relationship with your son or your daughter. It's the connection, the joy, the chemistry, the communication, the collaboration, the experience, the memory making. You can interchange results with any one of those unique aspects to the relationship you have in mind, but it's results that matter. And you can be more ruthless in your golf game and your professional life than you can in your family and your relationship dynamics in your marriage. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to be a ruthless asshole to your kids or your significant other. With that said, again, the upgrade here was transitioning from, I need to be liked. Let me tell said individual what they want to hear at the expense of their results. It's actually selfish. It's selfish. I'm putting my need to be liked above my client's results in that circumstance. But when I let go of that need to be liked, when I learned how to begin training and flexing my I don't give a fuck muscle, and I started prioritizing what my client needed, regardless if they liked me, first and foremost, I learned through experience, they fucking respected me a hell of a lot more if I was candid with them. And then they got better results. So guess what? Then they liked me even more because I got them the results they were after. And that's incredibly crucial. And the best part about this is, as you do something like coaching more and more, thousands and thousands of clients and hundreds of thousands of conversations. I don't know how to really quantify that, but now it's a beautiful art science blend, if you will, giving just enough of what they want to hear baked in with what they need to hear to create the ultimate immersive coaching experience that accelerates results. And that's what I pride myself in. But at the end of the day, when I let go of this need to be liked, when I let go of avoiding confrontation, hey, all is good. It's okay. You skipped your workouts this week. You didn't follow your nutrition blueprints at all. When I let go of this conflict avoidance and got candid, stopped saying everything or stopped behaving like everything was sunshine and rainbows, embrace some of the discomfort, the negativity, everybody around me benefited. And I need you to hear that. I need you to hear that. And again, I keep coming back to just the State of Mental Game podcast right now. Everybody is so gung-ho on be positive, be optimistic, be grateful, lovey-dovey kindness, but that's not how life is. Toxic positivity is not reality. It's not reality. And I often come back to this, more or less a quote. I think I've shared it here before, but I was listening to somebody I respect in the fitness industry. This must have been 10 years ago. And he said, in a given week, if you have 5 workouts, 3 of them are likely to be kind of, meh, whatever. 1 of them is likely to be really good. And the other one is likely to fucking suck, to be a grind. You're going to have to endure, be gritty. And we can use that and extrapolate it to every 5 rounds of golf. And going even further, just life. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go intentionally make your life harder than it needs to be. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're constantly in pursuit of the next best version of yourself, challenge is baked into the journey. Difficulty is baked into the journey. Discomfort and learning how to embrace, sit with, and behave from a place of discomfort is a prerequisite, non-negotiable to become the next best version of yourself. So if you continue to avoid the hardship, the discomfort, the negative feelings you're experiencing, plastering positivity all over like a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, you're going to continue to come up far fucking short of your potential. And I want to create space to just chew on that for a moment. Where in your life are you guilty of avoiding discomfort and plastering a Band-Aid of positivity over it? How is it helping you? How is it holding you back? What's it costing you? Here's the truth. And this is a truth that separates elite performers from everybody else. The vast majority of the time, conditions are far from perfect, positive, and pristine. You're rarely going to have the perfect weather conditions on the golf course. You're rarely going to have all parts of your game firing at once. More often than not, there is a battle taking place. And that battle is not taking place on a beach with a pina colada in your hand. It's a fucking battle, man. It's hard, it's tough, it's challenging. There's discomfort, there's uncertainty. How are you going to respond? You're going to put a Band-Aid over it? Oh, it's all good. It's fine. I don't care. No, really, it's okay. I'm grateful to be here. Are you going to dig in? You're going to challenge yourself. See what you're made of. Sit with those feelings for a moment. Are you going to acknowledge that, yeah, this sucks right now? And then accept it does suck and act. Remember what I told you to write down earlier? Acknowledgement, acceptance, action. Because that's the truth. Those negative feelings, those challenges, those periods of discomfort, they happen on both the micro and the macro level, on a given hole, a given round, in given periods of your life. And if you can acknowledge, fuck, this is heavy. I feel a bit overwhelmed. I'm pissed off. And you can accept that this is a temporary feeling state that you are currently dealing with, and then take action anyway, whether that is action towards your goal or immediate action to relieve yourself of those negative, heavy feeling states. You can then keep moving forward in your evolution process, whether that's through a hole, through a round, or whatever chapter or season of life you're currently working through. You need to acknowledge and accept negative emotions are part of the human experience. They're baked in prerequisites, non-fucking negotiables to your growth journey. Take action. Take action. Champions, the best of the best, learn how to operate in spite of the struggle. They've trained themselves to acknowledge what feels off. They're aware of any discomfort that's present. They take action to accept and manage their emotions so they can still execute with focus and presence. Now, let's go back to some of the surface level strategies I alluded to in the beginning. Positivity is an absolute necessary skill trait to develop. I'm not taking away from that. It's when it's overused as a conflict avoidance tool that it becomes problematic. God, I just love the alliteration opportunities I've created in this conversation. I digress. The same thing with gratitude, optimism. Like, look, you and I are hardwired to have a default negative demeanor, if you will, because our brain is not designed to make us happy. It's designed to keep us alive. It's hardwired to constantly scan our environments for threats. And this is what psychologists call a negativity bias. It's our minds giving more weight to danger, risk, and negative emotions than to positive ones, because this was, again, part of the advantage we cultivated many years ago to stay alive. And unfortunately, we are working or navigating an uphill battle every day because the vast majority of our thoughts are negative. Our brain is constantly scanning for threats, danger, and negative aspects of our environment, which means if we don't cultivate the skill of optimism, hope, a growth mindset, positivity, gratitude, we'll continue to operate in this default 24/7. Where does that lead? Well, it leads to you being average, ordinary, normal. And what is average, ordinary, and normal? Fat, broke, unhealthy, unhappy, stressed, anxious, stuck, paralyzed in a state of fear. And you're not listening to this fucking podcast to remain average, ordinary, or normal. You're destined to be great. You want to stand out, be outstanding, elite even. So you have to have these tools. You need to be able to remain, I almost think it's not even so much about remaining positive. It's remaining present, aware, accepting that the negative emotions are part of the experience, both in the micro and the macro. So remaining indifferent, in control, not letting the negative emotions hijack the steering wheel of your decisions and actions. You need to be able to remain optimistic. You need to find a way to practice gratitude. Life is challenging. Life is short. You got to find a way to fucking enjoy it. You need to have fun. But guess what? And this is a whole different conversation. I'll try not to get too far off track. Process, outcome. Have fun in your process with an understanding, an acknowledgement, and acceptance that the process to becoming outstanding also has challenge and discomfort and negative aspects baked in. But when you can train yourself, condition yourself to find joy, happiness, fun, fulfillment in the slog and discomfort of the process of growth and evolution, that's a separator. Oh, that's a powerful separator, a differentiator from the pack. So don't let it get lost in translation as I yell at you this morning, because I'm fired up about this topic, and I make no apologies that I am poo-pooing positivity, gratitude, and optimism. By no means am I doing that. They are skills. They need to be applied in certain situations. The question I want you to ask is, are you overly applying and half-assingly defaulting to them as a way to avoid discomfort? And as I was putting together my thoughts on this particular topic, I had a good download around optimism. Optimism, I wonder if we can invite in a second working definition of it. It's absolutely essential. Is optimism, though, at its core, really just the utmost faith, belief, and confidence in yourself and your capabilities? Like, yes, shit is hard. Circumstances are challenging. Emotions are uncomfortable. Yet I'm optimistic I'm going to get through it anyway, or it's going to get better. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm confident I will get through it. Optimism, is it nothing more than relentless belief in yourself and your ability to conquer the current challenging circumstances? Because that's a fucking great skill to have. That's an intangible every one of us should be working diligently to cultivate. And bringing it back to just kind of this, again, theme of being overly toxically positive, feelings are temporary. Yes, even the negative ones and the exciting positive ones. You can outlast temporary. So I challenge you this morning to begin really looking inward and having an honest conversation with yourself. Where are you guilty of using positivity to avoid emotional discomfort? How is being overly positive plaguing you, preventing you from playing to your potential? And if toxic positivity, in its most concise manner, is saying that everything is fine even when it's not, it begs the question, as I've talked for 30 minutes about this toxic positivity being the problem, what's the solution? Well, the solution is absolutely baked into acknowledgement, acceptance, and action. But the solution is really at its core authentic optimism. Again, optimism perhaps being substituted with a relentless belief in yourself and your ability to conquer said challenging circumstances. Authentic optimism says, this is hard. This hurts. Yet, I know and believe I can handle it, and I'm committed to moving forward. Look, even in that sentence, there's acknowledgement. This sucks. There's acceptance. It hurts. Yet there's unwavering belief in yourself, optimism. I can handle it. And then I'm committed to moving forward. What is that but action? Again, acknowledge, accept, act. So in golf, it's, said mistake or poor performance happens. Yeah, that was ugly. I did not do what I'm capable of doing. But I've got another opportunity to do different, to achieve different. And I'm ready to take action to make that happen. Acknowledge, accept, act. Acknowledgement, acceptance, action. Authentic optimism is your catalyst for growth. Because when you can learn to sit with the uncomfortable emotions and feelings, you create an opportunity to begin to be able to hear their messages, their teaching moments, their learning lessons. That's where your gold is. The voice of your subconscious mind is silence. Emotions are within your subconscious mind, and the sitting in silence, solitude with this discomfort creates a fast track to use these feelings as teachers and fuel to get out of your own way and achieve your potential. And hey, you're on the right track by listening to this podcast. I thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Scratch Golfers Mindset Podcast. Look, I don't aspire to be like anybody else in this golf mindset mental game space. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, you're enjoying the show, the content, do me a favor, leave a genuine rating, a review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you're listening. It goes a long way in supporting the show. And I'll leave you with this. Toxic positivity. It feels noble, but it's actually sabotage. The golfers, the leaders, the greatest of the great are those who truly thrive aren't the ones who avoid discomfort with fake smiles. They're the ones who acknowledge the darkness. They take accountability and they keep moving forward anyway. That is authentic optimism, and that is how you unlock your potential. Action accelerates results. I commend you for listening to this episode. I commend you for being open-minded, willing to look inward and take an honest inventory of your relationship with toxic positivity versus authentic optimism. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Hit them straight this weekend, and I'll catch you in the next episode.